So to answer your question, yes, find your brand, build that brand, and make it authentically you. Ooh, that light though. Hey y'all, it's Thomasina. Welcome back to my channel. So I decided to film outside today because it is just such a beautiful day in New York. I literally wish that it could be summer all year long. Sometimes you just need to be out in nature and just like feel the energy from the trees and the birds and even the bugs. Yeah, so over the years, throughout my modeling journey, I always receive a lot of the same questions about like how to get into modeling or specifically relating to my modeling journey. So I figured I would compile all those questions into one video and try to just knock out all those questions this one time so that you guys don't have to keep asking me like the same questions over and over. So I posted this on my Instagram story a couple of days ago, and I pretty much selected the most asked questions, and I feel the questions that I felt were most relevant to this video. So let's jump right into it. So the first question was, when did I start? If you guys watched my I think I made a video about like how I got into modeling. Watch that video and I go into more detail about like my specific journey then. But as far as when I started when I was like 13 or 14, I think. I did John Casablanca school. I'm sorry guys, the light, even though the lighting is nice, it's so bright, so I'm gonna be like squinting until the sun goes down. Yeah, so I started when I was 14, and it was just like little gigs here and there. Most of that time was spent like training because I was still in school. So at that point I wasn't traveling like out of state, I was just doing like local jobs. Someone asked, how important, I'm gonna need this helicopter to go somewhere. But yeah, someone asked, how important is it for you to find your own brand as a model? And that was a really good question because I'm still trying to figure that out. But as social media is becoming more prominent in the industry and agencies and clients are really pretty much looking at your social media to see your personality, I will say that developing a brand is super important nowadays, especially in order to build like a longer career and a more diversified career. It's super important for you to build your brand. Clients want to know who they're working with, you know, even though you're a stranger to them. Upon meeting them for the first time, they want to feel like they know you already. They want to feel like you would be relatable to their customer base. So it's super important to brand yourself, you know, showcase your personality on Instagram. And I am literally just getting into doing that. If you follow me on Instagram for a while, you know that literally most of the pictures that I post are just like professional pictures. It was just my photos from my photo shoots, but now I'm starting to post more about my hobbies, like my roller skating, and I'm starting to post like more funny videos just so you guys can see, you know, like the real me and the authentic me, because I'm realizing that that is really what clients are looking for. So to answer your question, yes, find your brand, build that brand, and make it authentically you. Someone asked, do you think moving to a city more populated in your industry helped your career? I would say yes, definitely, because, you know, I was in North Carolina for so long. I was working with the same photographers, seeing the same models all the time, seeing the same clients basically, and I wasn't really expanding my brand, so to speak, or expanding my portfolio beyond the North Carolina sector. And so moving to New York, you got people from all over. Like New York is like the melting pot of the US. And so even though I'm based in New York, I'm still getting people from like Dubai, from Italy, Milan, and I'm getting to work with all of these photographers that, you know, work with models that are from everywhere. So I think it expanded my career and my portfolio in that sense. And this is just a stronger market for everything, for fashion, editorial, commercial. I think North Carolina was more so like commercial based, and it was just like specific commercials that were based in North Carolina. But New York, you can really do it all here, and that's kind of how I want to base my career. I want to be able to do everything. I don't want to limit myself to just one specific niche. So yes, moving to New York definitely helped, or is helping my career grow farther. How long did it take me to get signed? Let's see, 14, 15. I would say it took me 9 years to get signed. From the time that I first stepped foot into the industry a total of 9 years. And I will say that I definitely could have gotten signed in a shorter span of time, but I can honestly say I wasn't taking it as seriously. I was in school and I was taking school super seriously. I was straight A student, 4.0 student, and that was my focus at the time. And also I had people telling me, you're too short to model, you're too thick to model, your skin's too bad. I had people telling me all these things, and so I really didn't think that I could make a career out of modeling. But then I had an epiphany and I was like, you know what? Bump that. Modeling is what I want to do with my life, so I'm gonna make it happen. So from the point that I started taking it like serious, I would say it took me about 2 years to get signed. So in total it took me 9 years, but from the point that I started taking it like really seriously, it took me about 2 years to get signed. Someone asked, do I have any secrets to getting signed to an agency? It's no secret. Like, anything you want to know you can find on the internet. I just say being your authentic self is super important these days. That's what clients are looking for. That's what agencies are looking for. A lot of us, when we have agency interviews, we are trying to give like sugar-coated answers. We're trying to be like this picture perfect model, being what we think the agency wants, and a lot of times that's not it. So just be yourself, and the right agency will like you for you. There's really no secret to being signed. Just continuously put yourself out there. Don't quit. Apply continuously. Don't limit yourself. Don't put yourself in a box. Someone asked, how did I get signed? Pretty much what I just said. I was applying to like hundreds and hundreds of agencies, no matter the location, because I was taking it so seriously. I was willing to relocate if the opportunity presented itself. So yeah, I was just continuously applying. I changed my look a couple of times to see if if agencies would be more receptive to me with the blonde, or with like big hair, or with like the black buzz cut. I was constantly updating my digitals and sending those out. So yeah, one of my favorite quotes is, in order to get something you've never had that you want, you have to do something you've never done. So when you're applying to these agencies and you're not getting any response back, think about what you sent them and then change it up a little bit. You always want to constantly do something different to yield different results. Someone asked, did you build up your portfolio before getting signed? And yes. You guys, I have a very, very strong portfolio. And I think that was a major reason of why my current agency signed me, because I walked in with a super diverse portfolio, so they could see what looks I could pull off. They could see that I didn't really need much training in the photo posing aspect. So yeah, like I said, I started when I was 14, so I had photos from the time that I was 14 until the time that I got signed. Granted, I didn't show them all those pictures from back in the day. I showed them my most recent photos, but I was constantly shooting. Even though I wasn't taking it like seriously when I was in college, I was still like reaching out to local photographers and shooting like constantly. So I always had new looks to show. And even now, since I've been in New York, I'm always shooting. Even if like there's some downtime and I'm not working, I'm still always scheduling photo shoots. So yeah, you want to constantly be working on your portfolio. And I find that if a new model gets signed to an agency and her portfolio is like lagging and she needs more photos, your agent will set up test photo shoots with you, with photographers who want to test with like signed models, or they will like give you a list of reputable agents or reputable photographers in your area. But sometimes because these photographers are really, really good, obviously they're working with agencies, sometimes they can be a little pricey. And so I don't necessarily have an issue with working with these photographers, like if I need something for my book, but as much as I shoot, I wouldn't be able to afford to shoot with some of the photographers that agencies recommend. So I would just say, like, reach out to your local photographer. Sometimes if they like your look, it'll be like a collaboration, and they'll be willing to not charge you for the shoot in exchange for your presence and your skill level. So you never know until you ask. Just utilize the resources in your community before dropping thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on photos. So that's my advice on that. Someone asked if I have any recommendations for taking digitals. You guys, I like taking digitals on my own is probably one of the hardest parts of my job. Like, you have to find the right lighting. You definitely have to have like a stand, a phone stand, a tripod, that's what it's called. Or if you don't have like friends or people readily available to take digitals for you when you need them, you gotta have a tripod. But what I would recommend is take it in natural light. So I will post photos of my most recent digitals. These are my best digitals that I've ever taken. And shout out to my friend Sam, because he took like 3 hours out of his day to help me take these digitals. Yes, it took like 3 hours, but mostly because we were like talking and like joking around. You want the agencies or clients, whoever you're sending them to be able to see like your real complexion. I know as a darker skin model, before when I was taking my digitals on my own and I would like take them at my house barely had any natural light, and so I would use like my ring light, and it was just casting weird shadows all over my body. So, you know, if you can, maybe take them outside, find a plain wall outside and take them there. But if you have natural lighting in your house, just open up some space and stand against the wall or something. So yeah, natural lighting. I would say wear all black because it makes you, I don't know, depending on the look that you're going for, but I like wearing all black because it makes me look the most like slim, and I feel like my all black outfits show off like the curvature of my body, even though I barely have any curvature, but it just shows off my shape nicely. So I would say wear all black. Whether or not you wear heels is up to you. Back in the day, like, I would do some barefoot and I would do some with heels. These most recent ones, I took them in Doc Martens because I saw that was like a recurring theme in digitals that I was seeing. I found that agencies sometimes like you to show personality, so you can wear all black and you can have like your typical model fit, but you can throw in like a choker here or like some rings or like a chain that shows off your personality, or even your top can have like a little bit of detail that just shows off your sense of style, because again, going back to that authenticity, they like to see that. They like to see how you can show your personality, like given the bare minimum. I would personally recommend having someone take your digitals for you, but in the instance that you don't have someone like me, most of the time, I would just say invest in a tripod and set yourself up a little corner in your house where there's direct sunlight by windows or whatever. Someone asked, how is the market in New York? I assume you're asking like how often we get like jobs or whatever, but it varies from person to person. It also depends on like your niche, like if you're a commercial model, beauty, fashion, editorial, all of that. So it really just depends. Really, you just have to move up here and see for yourself. I can't really speak to, it's such a general question. I don't really feel like I can give a straightforward answer. It depends on your agent. Yeah, there are a lot of factors that play into it. The hardest thing about being a model, I would for sure say, at least for me, comparison, because we all have a different season, and I think sometimes it's difficult for me to see like some of my model friends who are constantly getting booked, and I'm sitting here, you know, weeks at a time, sometimes months at a time, not booking anything and continuously getting released from jobs. So I think just, you know, focusing on your own journey and not focusing so much on like what other people are booking, because like I said, everybody has a season. There are going to be times where your model friends are not booking and you're booking, and then there are going to be times where they're booking and you're not booking. And I think that really showed itself during this, the 3 or 4 months we were on quarantine, because we had models who didn't book any work the entire time, but then we also had models who were working from home and like shooting from home. And so I've been talking to a lot of my model friends, and you know, I wasn't the only one. A lot of us felt like down and out. Ew. Bugs are so rude. There were points where we were feeling down and out, like, wow, what am I doing wrong? Do I need to take more pictures? Do I need to lose weight? Do I need to change my look? Panicking, but really no one was working, so there was really no reason for us to feel bad. Like, obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's not going to be that much work out there. So yeah, I would say just focus on your own journey. Don't make it harder on yourself than it already is. But for me, I think that's the hardest part about being a model. Yay, someone asked me the best part about being a model. Honestly, we as models, we have like this ongoing joke that we all hate our job, but we still do it. And like, obviously there are certain aspects of the job that we dislike, but I love modeling. It's my calling. It's what I was born to do. It's my passion. And so even the aspects that I hate, I can overlook because I love it so much. I just love the feeling of being in front of the camera. I love when like photographers like hype me up while we're shooting, make me feel good. I love getting my nails done on set. I love getting my hair done on set. I love just being pampered and like being taken care of on set. I love seeing the finished product of my work and like feeling accomplished. I love meeting other models on set, but I love like meeting production because it gives me a viewpoint of something that, you know, I'm not doing. I'm so used to being in front of the camera, but I love meeting, you know, like directors, casting directors, photographers, cinematographers. I don't even know what the word is, but I just love meeting, you know, new people and just hearing their stories on set. You know, when I'm getting my makeup done, we get to talking and, you know, just to pass the time away. And you got people like coming from China, from Thailand, like coming to work on set here in New York. And so it's just interesting hearing everybody's story. So yeah, I love the job. It's hard to just pick one thing that I love the most about it. Someone asked, do I need training? So I would say it depends, because there are some models who are like borderline actors as well. So like the commercial models that you see in like Walmart commercials or like Target commercials, sometimes they've taken acting classes to make themselves more marketable for clients like that. So if that's the sector that you want to navigate in, I would say it would be beneficial to take some kind of training, like acting classes and things like that. I personally went to school when I was like 14 for 3 years, doing training with John Casablanca, and I think it was beneficial to me because it helped me gain confidence. Like I said in my other video, my first ever model teacher, model coach was Ashley Mills, who was Miss North Carolina USA, and is now like working on like a Tyler Perry series. But yeah, she was my first ever model coach, and I'm so thankful for her because she's the reason why my walk is so bomb today. So I would say, just like any other profession, you can never be too educated. You can never have too much training. So if there's something, a new skill that you want to learn, you know, pay somebody to teach it to you, or just like research. So research classes that may be hosted online or in person. So it's not necessarily needed every time, but some agents may suggest it if they feel like you're lagging in a certain area, or you may just realize that you need more help in a specific area, and you may want to take it upon yourself to sign up for a class. Oh my God, I hope y'all can hear me because they are like jamming over there. That's New York for you. There's always something going on. Oh, it's a protest or something. I'm gonna let them pass. Hold on. So you guys cannot see it at all because I'm so far away and the sun is like beaming, but there is kind of like a band playing / protest going through the park. They're protesting returning to school at this time because I believe New York is trying to reopen schools, and so they're protesting for the safety of the teachers, for the safety of the kids. There are so many people. I wish you guys could see. Oh, it's so dark over there, but you guys, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of people protesting. I love it. I love to see it. I need to go join. Wow, y'all. So the whole protest, I really wish you guys could have seen it, but I didn't want to leave my stuff over here. But it was literally like hundreds and hundreds of people, like I said, protesting against reopening schools here in New York. And they had the cutest little girl leading the march, saying her little chant, and it just made me so proud. Shout out to the parents who are raising little leaders and allowing their kids to be at the forefront of something so purposeful, especially when it's directly impacting them. I don't know, I love that. I just love to see that. Someone asked if they were too short. They're 5'3". No, you're not too short. You're never too short. You're gonna have designers, you're gonna have agencies, you're gonna have clients that are gonna tell you you're too short. You may be not what they're looking for that particular brand, for that particular agency, but you can never let someone tell you that you're too short. Look at Halima, look at Andrea Ventura, look at Dominique Robinson. There are so many models that represent petite models in the industry and who are very successful in what they're doing. So if you've got the skill set, you've got the drive to make it happen, you can make it happen. Like for me, I was told that I was too short, and look at me, I'm signed in New York. My first agency was an agency in New York, and I'm doing the darn thing. So if I can do it, you can do it. If all these other models can do it, there's nothing stopping you or nothing holding you back besides yourself, so go for it. Someone asked, do they need to have a lot of pictures before they can get signed? No, some models are signed off the street and they've never thought about modeling a day in their life, and they have literally no portfolio whatsoever. A good agent will help you build your portfolio over time. Now, I will say it does help if you have a strong portfolio going into it, especially if you're not like industry standard. Like me, I'm not considered industry standard, but I had a really strong, or I have a really strong portfolio going into it, so it's easier for me to get signed in that aspect. So if you know that, if you know the odds are stacked against you, come in with a strong portfolio. It's just like having a strong resume in like the professional field. You just want to make sure you come in with ammo. So it'll be hard for them to say no. It'll be hard for them to turn you down. So you don't have to, but I would recommend you have some photos. Oh, my voice is like cracking. Oh, these bugs. So like nature makes me sneeze a lot, and I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to grass. When I had my last allergy test, they said I was allergic to grass. So I'll be sneezing a lot, and people be looking at me like I have corona, and I'm like, you guys, I promise I don't have corona. I'm just allergic to grass. Like, sorry. Someone asked, are models responsible for, like, if we have to travel for a job, are we responsible for our own accommodations? So there are some agents who will like foot the bill for you, meaning that they will put it on their tab, and then when you get paid for a job, that money will just go straight to the agency because you need to pay them back. Like if they paid for a hotel for you, they paid for like a model house for you, they ended up paying for your flight, you will need to pay them back. So the moment they get that check, they're just taking that money. But for the most part, models are responsible for getting themselves to a job, for setting up a hotel, doing all that stuff. Sometimes you will have clients who will pay that for you, but that will be in the description of the job before you even like book the job. So they'll tell you like transportation provided, accommodations provided, food provided. They will tell you all that beforehand, so you will know what you need to pay for and what you don't need to pay for. Someone asked, are models nice? Are other models nice? And it's just like literally any other community. You're gonna have people who are nice and you're gonna have people who are not so nice. For me, for the most part, I haven't encountered, I was about to lie. Out of my whole time modeling, I've only ever encountered one kind of like snooty, like snobbish, like just not a good person kind of model, but we didn't have like a direct interaction, so it wasn't like she was being like mean or rude to me. It was just like her personality was like I'm better than everybody here, I'm better than this job, I'm better than the whole world. It was just kind of like that, and so the vibes were off. But for the most part, every model that I've encountered was super nice, super chill, like down to earth, and yeah, it is what it is. I mean, sometimes you make friends, sometimes you don't. You just gotta be yourself and the energy will attract itself. If I didn't get to your question, I'll probably like respond to you on Instagram and just answer you directly. But yeah, those were pretty much all the questions. I really appreciate you guys being active on my Instagram and participating and not being afraid to ask me these questions. You know, I'm still a little person. I'm not where I want to be in my career yet, but you know, if you guys have questions, don't be afraid to ask me. But watch this video first because I'm not trying to answer the same question I've already answered like 50 million times. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.